Miss. They're represented by head coach Charles Huff in his first year, and players Braylon Braxton, a redshirt senior quarterback from Frisco, Texas, and Chris Jones, a sophomore linebacker from Byram, Mississippi. Begin with opening remarks from Coach Huff, and then we'll take questions for both Coach and our student athletes. Coach?
Thank you everybody for being here, especially the media presence that we have. Thank you guys for what you do to cover not only our sport, but this conference. Really appreciate it. You're the outlet to the fans, so appreciate all the hard work and stories that you guys write throughout the year. To Commissioner Gill and his staff, thank you guys for another phenomenal first-class event here. Every year this thing continues to get better and better. One of the premier media days in the country. To him and his staff that put this on, Travis and the rest of the staff that managed this event, phenomenal job. On behalf of our president, Dr. Paul, our AD, Jeremy McClain, Sean Jones, Spencer Bridges, the entire administrative staff at Southern Miss University. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. We're excited. Brought two of our players with us that we'll discuss later on here in a second. But really appreciate the opportunity to be standing in front of you as the head coach of a great university with a great history, tradition, and passion. Excited about the season that's coming. A lot of work to do to flip the script. To all the Golden Eagle fans, alumni, administrators, supporters, donors, thank you for an unbelievable outpouring of support up until this point. As we look into flipping the script this season, flip the script is not just a focus on the record, it's a focus on mentality, it's a focus on culture, it's a focus on everything we do. When you're a 1-11 program, it's not just the on-field performance, it's everything. It's the discipline, it's the accountability, it's the culture, it's the ability to sustain success when you have it, whether that's in the classroom or on the field. So that's our goal. We've been at this thing since December. Right now, we're at 70 new players on our team. When you start including the walk-ons and new admittance guys, we're going to be at about 80 when it's all said and done. We were very intentional about rebuilding this roster, flipping the script on that. Our GM, Reed Grable, has done a phenomenal job in leading our recruiting efforts along with our assistant coaches and everybody else involved at the university. 17 SEC players will be in that mix, 9 Big 12 players, 5 ACC players. So we built it to win. We are operating in a process, a matrix, a plan of application, not theory. I know what it takes to win this league. That does not mean you click your fingers and all of a sudden you win this league, but as far as building and taking the right steps on a daily basis, we have the roadmap, and it works. We've got a lot of work to do. A big piece of that was obviously adjusting the roster. A lot of credit goes to Jeremy and the administrative team because part of flipping that roster was creating the resources to attract good football players to our university. And that's not just monetary. I understand where we are in college football with revenue share. I understand where we are, but it's not just monetary. It's resources and facilities. It's resources in making sure academically our professors and our counselors are able to take care of the young men that are coming in with different types of transcripts at different points of their career. The resources to make sure that the environment that these guys live in, the food that they eat on a daily basis are in a first-class manner. So a lot of credit goes to the administrative team in putting those things in place to attract the guys that we were able to attract. This spring was all about the individual. We did not remove anyone from the roster when we arrived until after spring ball. We gave everyone an opportunity to conform to the new Southern Miss football. We gave them that opportunity through the spring. We taught them what it looked like to be a part of this team, to be disciplined, to be accountable, to be responsible. As we transition into the summer, it's been all about becoming a team. We spent a lot of time about getting connected. The X's and O's will take care of themselves. In order to be a championship level program, you got to be connected. These guys got to be a team. You bring in 70 new players, you've got to be able to get them to know each other, communicate with each other, hold each other accountable, trust each other. So a lot of our summer focus has been on that. And then as we transition into fall camp, we will flip into the mental disposition piece. How do you respond to adversity? How do you respond to things that go on in your life? How are you able to take what's going on in your life right here, right now, and manage the success and failures that you're going to have? That will determine the type of team we have. Ultimately, the wins and losses come down to execution, but the preparation that you need to do every single day to give yourself a chance on Saturdays is what we'll be focused on when we move into fall camp. With us today, we brought two of our players that represent our team, two guys that have ultra influence. We don't talk about leadership in our building, we talk about having influence. You could attribute it the same as leadership, but in their world, in their generation, leadership is tough because everyone's kind of got their own Instagram, their own brand, everyone's focused on them. When you bring a bunch of guys together, as you're forming the team, it's hard for someone else to hold someone accountable when they don't know them. So we talk about having influence, and these two young men have ultra influence throughout the team. Obviously on respective sides of the ball, but across the entire locker room. We'll start with the Offensive Player of the Year nominee or recipient for the preseason, Braylon Braxton. Can't tell you enough about this young man. You guys know statistically what he's able to do on the football field, but what he does in our building every single day, what he does on our campus every single day, goes beyond that. The apartment he lives at, he went home for break over 1 week over the summer, and the apartment manager called and said, "Coach, did Braylon transfer?" I said, "I don't think so." He said, "Well, every morning he stops by here and says hello on his way into workouts, and we haven't seen him for like 3 or 4 days. We were worried." I said, "Well, that's good to know." I said, "I'll call him and make sure he hadn't transferred," but just shows you a little bit about who he is. Obviously, his influence throughout the locker room has been phenomenal. His players gravitate to him on both sides of the ball, and he holds himself accountable, not just from a character standpoint, but to improve. He knows he has big shoes to fill. The expectations that you guys have set for him are not the expectations that we have. The expectations we have is that he comes out every single day and improves, and does what he needs to do to help his teammates get better on and off the field. If that equals, 5,000 yards or 10,000 yards or no yards, it doesn't matter. That's what success will be measured for him. I think it's awesome that he's nominated. I think he's well worthy. A lot of other players in this conference are worthy as well. I think he's well deserving. And then Chris Jones, linebacker, sophomore linebacker from Mississippi, had an option to leave, chose to stay. Got a chance to meet with his parents when we first got there. You want to talk about a person that truly loves Southern Miss, loves it, loves the campus, loves the city, loves the community, truly loves the state of Mississippi. And he's been one that has influenced and helped, bridge the gap between the new players and the players that have come in, the old players. And he's been one who has embraced new, embraced hard. He told me the other day, every day at practice he feels uncomfortable, and that's great because that means you're growing. And he said, "I love it though." But I think those are just some quick stories on guys that represent our locker room. I couldn't be more excited to coach these guys. We got a long road ahead of us. We got a lot of work to do. We got a phenomenal schedule. Our administration put us in great position to have 7 home games. We appreciate Mississippi State's willingness to go outside the norm and come play us at home. The economic effect that's going to have on Hattiesburg and the state of Mississippi is huge. Hopefully we can continue that with both schools throughout our tenure here. The Sun Belt West is the toughest division in my opinion out of the two. I know I was on the other side. Kind of like Michael Jordan say, I know I won that side, so I know coming over here, looking at all the talent that's here now, it's going to be competitive. There's a lot of great talent on the East, don't get me wrong, but you look at the talent in the West, we have a challenging schedule. We know we got a lot of work to do. Our success will not be measured in wins and losses. Our success will be measured in daily progress. And if we take every single day and we take the right steps, ultimately we'll look up at the end of the year and be where we need to be. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
We'll open the floor up for questions. If you do have a questions, please raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you. We ask that you please give your name and affiliation. And for those of you joining us on Zoom, please type in your question to the chat and we'll read it here in the room.